That's all. That's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So the only people that's scared are the oppressors. The only people who could have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Simple as that.
3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. It's time for a change, got a bounce up. The oppressor's about to get tossed up. I'ma lay him out, execution style. Too late when apologetic claim. You wrapped in a coca flame, by God, it's overdue. Your time is to the end. Locked out silent without sin. He put me on the bed with justice to win. The oppressor's about to get rolled down. With suppressors attached to the war zone. Revolution can start in the Arizona. I'm a message about it like Jericho. Back by the honorable who sits at the pinnacle, who judges the hypocritical, cynical, and the pitiful sinful. My thinking is critical. I'm just ventilating of the actions of the protected servers. Quick to pull the Glock blast and kill this. Don't think any cap skill. No, I'm ill of all citizens who haven't took a stand. Or kneels too late when the caps get filled. Don't believe the TC type. On hits close to home. You gotta act the bone, but it got the dome when it's on the zone. All red and my vision too tight. It's gonna be killed whenever I write. From above, I'll be given the right. So you better be ready to ride tonight. All the way to the dawn daylight. We gon' let them all, so gon' pass the kite. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender.
This world is such a and when I say this world, I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. You want to be successful? You want to be like Trump? Gimme. Push. Step. Crush. That's how it all is. And it's like, nobody ever stopped.
And I got so much more to say. I want peace. It seems that war is coming. I want you feast, yet I can't shake your stomach. I want increase, but in this dream things plummet. So I summon from within. Angels and demons like Dan Brown. If you angling and scheming, stand down. It's arranged scenes, man, scripted, planned out, strange. We understand now how they ran to downtown. Came on land, handed out books, scriptural, literal. But if you question it, they got rid of you. Democrat, Republic, conservative, liberal. Who's ever tuned you, same party you attend is political. It's clear they rather have you vote the clear way. Controls the confusion, using a cavalier sway. Conspiracy theories. For fear's sake, most what they call history is merely hearsay. You offer salat or pray to them we'll pray. Since a lot of y'all woke, then let's hope this year make the year for a clear break. Angels language, devil's dialogue, anguish used to keep us languid within the tankage. Aim is to ensure we remain in language, brainless with no heart, cowards framed in anguish. This pain is tameless. I've earned the right to set ablaze the day and burn the night. I'm not an L-Bay or day, nor bright burn, but I burn bright. Yearn to fight the lion, done learn to write. What you feed the mind determines the appetite. Vibrate at my highest interference to the satellite. Like I've been little my whole life. Had to fight,
Got foreigners and aliens in my battle site. I'm more Anasazi than Nazarite. Most you bloggers are babblers and acolytes. A lot of y'all act alike. Society's in an uproar. Our people still bickering amongst each other as if the world isn't listening. Division is the tradition. I'm using supreme mathematics, subtraction, and addition. Thing between Ukraine and Russia, some are still enlisted. It's fictitious corporations, armed forces, and its mission. Not problem solving, but multiplying. Issues in a cult-like fashion. People in bulk dying instead of us unifying. You rather talk flick through an iPhone screen. Disrespectful with the comments with our own memes. Mentality, reality, you cry, moan, scream. Personalities of a Mark 5 drone or clone beam. Wait till y'all out with this next cyclone bring. The Queen Mother's throne king. I'm more enlightened now that I dropped you. This might shock you, then again it might not. Yet I opt to. You move like how a cop do. I will think outside the box you to stop you. What's a savage to the sacred? You like average, basic. Need more than your talent and apps to combat with this creative. Deflate the hatred. I give love. If it's not reciprocated, no love lost. Straight my natural state is, and I'm not yet in my prime, y'all. This rhyme's called Angel's Language, Devil's Dialogue. You hit a firewall. The final call, it's your time to fall, my lighter, blind them all. Lest I be single with no further ado. I bring to you, live and direct, myself, Tired and Son, Kingo, doing my thing too. So, just know, I remember everything. And I'm coming for anything to you. For sure. I teach you up.
Coming for everything.
What the goal of the billionaire class is to remake the world as a digital simulation, really, to digitalize, to steal life. It is an anti-life program. It's moving from carbon-based life to silicon-based life, to a digital twin of the world that they can control, that is disconnected from spirit. And
I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. In the bright glow of the dawn, I see myself clearly, bringing in a new day. The old way of doing things is done. I don't care what you say. Monsters don't sleep under your bed. They sleep inside your head. And if you haven't done the shadow work, and left behind is where you stay. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, tones, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the street. We gotta protect plus homeschool. Our babies is a must. They not just no moms, but also no posse. Scholar, worshiping pedophiles, wanna feed our children's spirits to robots. Turn all of us from carbon base to silicone base. Should be where the shit show stops. Get back to doing for ourselves. Water system irrigation and grow crops. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. I'm saying I'm not some master teacher, no am I some pastor or preacher. Was released from prison with this passion to speak up. After doing 25 years in the beast cuffs. Realize they tried to teach us spiritual, mental, physical diet. They tried to feed us the fire of our ancestors resides in each of us. With that, I'm inspired to turn this heat up. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to war with this beast. Through tones, melodies, tones, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets.
We're really approaching almost like it's a Frankenstein moment, and they're framing it to us as innovation, right? Where we should all be so excited that this is happening, and I equate it to like the Golem bringing in like these robots. They would like to feed our life force to learn us in every tiny detail, not to empower us, but to actually transform us into a robotic simulation that is under their full control.
Nah, bro. Come on. You almost there, bro. Almost there. Survive. You would die for Chi-Town, who am I but Chi-Town? You young fool, I'm too fly to just slide out. Blue sky but high ground, a crown slash helmet. So my aircraft still fit, can't be tied down or even seatbelted. I look down, I see green like a Celtic. My heat pulverizes, the cheese is melted. The realness of cash money, I dispelled it. You did the fusions in my eyes, I beheld it. The finger fucked that caused my hand, I dealt it. Felt the vibrate from the gut of my pelvic. It bust off on some ice and some velvet shit. So radiant, I keep a dark room well lit. Cause you little goofies are well quick. Body for real monkey velvet. Body you not for Mars, it's a female split. As a kid, all I did was fight. I did the bit with a knife. I know I can spit my flows to shit. To a fly, though haters wanna crucify a real man. I still stand with the silver hand, but we're healer man. It's not Cypress Hill, I'm Turtle Sheep. I'm one tough cookie, I don't follow, I set standards. To catch me, you gon' have to do more to scamper. Need more to scanners, I'm off the radar. I am as you goofies play God. Some worship the Christ, others pray to Allah. Chase a high, drink paper opera. You stagnated, well I straight evolved. At a rate, I'm data space ace of y'all. Bust stuck in the case, face off. After shape the state is a fake, a fraud. Battlestar intergalactic, my mindset. Perfect comes from practice, so I rhyme best. I excel like I'm climbing a step. You got a lot to learn. I am adept, you of no concern. I am a threat. My measurement, width, lift, height, and depth. I'm just piracy up. Flying a jet, spray the adversary. Martial Chronicles like Ray Bradbury. I'm a thorough guy, goddammit. Symmetric apparel of a fly bandit. Mohawk, aviators, aerodynamics. And it's like I'm an arrow in precise transit. A Christmas Carol lies with your fans get. You rose and perils what I transmit as a transcript. Or I just spit it off the top. It's either shit or get off the block. This shit's hot.
What's going on, Tom? They're throttling and messing with the video as if, like I said, the beautiful thing about being emotionally unaware and unstable is the fact that it shows that they're not right, they're weak, they're not just stupid, they're meaningless.
Y'all really thought that I was done with y'all.
I can't even make sense of them. They just do the dumbest stuff. It's like Negroes that work with these worthless feds, thinking that they're doing something, whether they be in their home, around their block. We have so many people, and I'm gonna speak on it, that need to be completely removed. And they think it's impossible because they're breathing. They think they can't be removed. This is the funny thing. And then the agents, I hate that, I detest that term. They think they're legitimized in actions. But we're gonna talk about some history. We're gonna talk about some history. We're gonna address some things, and people might feel some kind of way. Really doesn't matter, you know what I mean? They're gonna be butthurt, and rightfully so. And maybe they can move beyond it. Now, the story I have to tell is really gonna lock in on some real truth, what we think truths are, right? But right now, I'm just gonna elevate it to another. Some individuals may get a little offended. And they'll be able to research some of it. Some of it. Hey, babies. Hey.
Whether your word is bottled.
Ah, you gotta eat on your own. Mama ain't good. There you go. She ain't gonna keep feeding you.
Whether earth is bottled flat.
You done got big.
Foolish, known by his speech. Yet if I don't speak, I suffer defeat. Other than we,
my favorite. She's been around me non-stop.
The wise man known by his silence, mostly disguised compliance, silence by clients from conspiring to novice, other aspirants of violence, tyrants of fire, trying and trying to hide. I'm trying to fight. In environments of migrants, I'm hearing the sirens. Nigga, my head, they've got indictments. These pedophiles, queers, groupies, and hype men. Alignments, the assignment. I'm not the wisest, I'm not flying. My refinement and confinement and requirements for this climate. Y'all push all the paperwork, or y'all can protest, but they can't escape this work. I vow to progress. Don't duck, no wreck. Drill music for real. My soul they don't possess. Real foolish with no deal. Ain't playing with none of them. It's personal, know what the business is. Big Mosh says come full circle, so vacate your premises. We're not going back and forth about this or that.
And they're not even bothered by the little blizzard. They're not even bothered. They're run right by them. Wow. That's cool. Oh, that bird destroyed that mall.
We're not going back and forth.
That was a good catch.
Whether your word is mono wet, here's a big fat, yellow, white, red, brown, black. Now, big back. Whether earth is brown or flat, we want our shit back. Kichiwa.
Y'all know what a Kichiwa means, right? So I started 15 minutes ago, but the monkeys hijacked it. They didn't even want to play this. Just give up the bot. The programming, the conditioning, whatever it is, it's just so dumb. I think they think that it's doing the job that needs to do. What it's doing is they're going to miss out on a lot, and I appreciate it.
People who could have any harm coming to them are those who oppress.
I told you these individuals are stupid, and I mean it.
No weight lesser, drop the oppressor, me no surrender, 3 pound pressure. No weight lesser, drop the oppressor, me no surrender, 3 pound pressure. No weight lesser, drop the oppressor, me no surrender, 3 pound pressure. No weight lesser, drop the oppressor, me no surrender. It's time for a change, got a boss up. The oppressor's about to get tossed up. I'ma lay him out, execution styles too late for the apologetic claim. You wrapped in a coca flame, by God, it's over. Doing your time is to the end. Not Josh Silent without sin. He put me on the better with justice to win. The oppressor's about to get rolled down. With suppressors attached in the war zone. Revolution can start in the Arizona.
You better fight with that little finch. That little thing can't hurt you.
Who judges the hypocritical, cynical, and the pitiful simple? My thinking is critical. I'm just ventilating of the actions of the protected service. Critical, the black plastic kill. This don't take any type of skill. No, I'm ill of all citizens who have it to understand. Oh, and Neil's too late when the caps get filled. Don't believe the GC type. Going hits close to home. You gotta act the bone when it got the dome. When it's on the zone, all red and my vision's too sight. It's gonna be killed whenever I fight. I'm above, I'll be given the right. So you better be ready to ride tonight. All the way to the dawn daylight. We gon' rid them all. So gon' pass the kite. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender. 3 pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, me no surrender.
This world is such a and when I say this world, I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. You want to be successful? You want to be like Trump? Gimme. Push. Step. Crush. That's how it all is. And it's like, nobody ever stopped.
Oh, there's a fly again. Oh, yeah. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Yeah, they wanted to disrupt it. I'm like, Saturday morning. I mean, these people, these individuals, excuse me, these things, they just can't get it together. No, I know y'all heard Dr. Umar. It was a couple of days ago. They froze his accounts. Frederick Douglass, who was an African. You know, when I saw it, I didn't see nobody posting about it. I was going to download TikTok, and I was like, you know what? They can bite a mean one. They lose out. They don't get to be the first to, if I express something that nobody else will. Because it's funny. I have a ton of people realizing like, oh, wow. Was you so-and-so on MySpace? And I was like, yeah, when they were African, this, that, and other in New York. And they were like, oh, you really have been doing this. I was like, longer than some damn internet. But, and Miss Winston's been passed away a long time now. My grandmother's been a number of years. My great-grandmother since 1987, 86, 87, 87, 86. She was 96. She was born in, she was born in 1880. My great-grandmother was born. Some say she was about 100. I just been hearing this from my uncle and a few other people. Because at that time, nobody was counting the years. So when my grandmother was saying 94, I said, no, mama, she was 96. But the men in the family, the older one, who's about 80 and 87 now, they were saying, no, she was about 100. Because you got to remember, my grandmother took me in when she was in her 40s. She was she just became a nurse from a candy striper. My mother at the time, you know, she was roughly, I think, 24. When after all, 6 years of abuse, my grandmother took me in. And it's funny. And I told you about my great grandmother sliding a little. She said they're not Jews. I remember that. It was racist idiot in Newark. He didn't even grow up here. He came here from Europe. I guess the history behind that. But what I want to point out in my studies, and it's important for people to understand this, there have been a lot of light-skinned folks who never liked this lie of history. Like whenever I hear people talking about the history books, and I've traveled, and I fought in middle school and high school because I just always felt that history was a lie. Come to find out, it was. The General Lee they talk about is a made-up composite, whitewash. I don't like using the term white, but it's whitewash because it was from my family. It's sometimes I find it hard to express and explain things because the world is so diluted in its perversion of history. We think because the brother from Georgia who passed away in 19 whatever it was with the Y chromosome, that which is gone, because most of them were eradicated. When I said that our people survived because we were underground, we went underground. We survived some major catastrophes. Now the enemies of the world, who y'all think are your leaders and presidents and mayors and all that, they require and need you not to know this. A lot of people don't know that Trump's a bastard, just part of the whole thing. He's been part of it all the time. All right, he gives false hope, and who would seek it more than anybody? Light-skinned folks, and there's a reason why. I was conversing, and I shared a video from the twins, Kenyan twins, that I learned just a long time ago that there are melanated people very dark, and they want to point it to mixing or whatever, who have that 1 to 10% Neanderthal blood. It's real. What bothers me so much, and it's not because Miss Jane Elliott said it well, but now some of these new ones that have kind of taken over the place, the radicalization with the CIA and Mossad does say, okay, we're going to tell the truth, but we're going to expand on the lie. So they want y'all to think that you've been here for 6,000 years. No, you haven't. You know, what bothered me the most when I went to the fake Egypt, all right, part of Mizraim, right? Because that's what it is, fake Egypt. I said, it's funny how he was young at the time doing his thing, you know, how sweet, whatever they get, the Egypt, which call, he's part of the problem. I said, it's funny how y'all always point out to, you know, Egypt being the oldest, and it's not. There's a lot to that. That's not even how it's pronounced, but regardless of that, we're going to use the term Egypt. This is old world. This is Egypt by what you believe. Okay. I said, it's funny how they always point this out, but anytime you go to grammatical corrections, it goes to Latin and Greek. First of all, Latin is brand new. And if the Egyptians taught the Greeks, why does it stop at the Greek? See, we call it magic. Well, y'all call it magic. I don't. I just use that because that's how y'all, in turn, you know, you understand it. You never had to draw people's blood to check for the parasites they've been putting in food, or the things that would allow them to grow and to be nurtured and to feed based on chlorination and other chemicals put in waters because of the fly and the mosquito and larvae, which actually survive. And when you're swimming and drowning and, you know, in the ocean, they have perverse the oceans around the borders of the lands. And you mostly, you know, don't know, you know, you think about Giardia and all this other stuff. They poison the water. They created these parasites because it's indicative to who and what they are. Now, did they have help? Right now, I don't want y'all to even be worried about that. We're not going to go off the aliens, predators, and 1999 and Battlestar Galactica and Starship Troopers. Starship Troopers, we're not even bother in that dynamic. My light-skinned brothers and sisters, and only the real ones will stand by. The other ones, I can't control how you feel. You haven't been here that long. You haven't. You haven't been here no 2,000 years. They want to push 6,000, and that's what they are. Even in the Library of Congress, yes. You haven't been here no 2,000 years. So you absolutely haven't existed for 6,000. I point to the fact that yes, you were in Cathay, and here we can, women and us, we can bear and make you from our genetics. But there's a perversion that lives, that exists. It can function off of blood. It can function off of flesh. And even they would destroy half or 3/4 of their own because of there's this power thing, that this fight. It's very primitive. It's not with us. It is not part of who we are. Yet they are very fearful, not you per se, the ones who are included into the family tribe. They are very fearful people. Y'all haven't really accomplished anything. I'm not here to beat you down. I'm here to point out a fact. When they talk about the old world, are you aware that Prussia and what they call Asia, which Europe is part of, and America is what the old world was? Seriously, it was all built by us. It was built by us. They had to destroy it. Just like they had to bring Native Americans, or the light-skins, they're one and the same. I'm going to read all the books on Boxer Rebellion, Yellow River, Opium Wars, and all that. And I already pointed out to the people who went over there to eradicate the original indigenous people, the Han. Yet you see the bloodline everywhere. There's an amalgamation. There's a raping that you see even today. And most people write off and dismiss it because it's not nowhere in literary. Well, it actually is. Just nobody knows where to go and find it. They had to have something pit against that which taught them. Their whole purpose was to destroy. Now, there are those who want to say that, there are other things. Again, I don't want to get into the distortion of sci-fi. Well, that perversion runs deep. And y'all think they want to reset because they're just sick. Well, that's part of it. They want to reset because there are a lot of y'all who don't like what's going on. Y'all don't like that side. You know, when you look at Europe and what they call the Protestant and the Catholic and the Christian wars and all that, they got you believing Christianity existed before Islam. I stated both of them were created by the same individuals. Yet, Islam is older than Christianity. And it wasn't even considered Islam. You got to remember the Mohammedan movement changed. They murdered him. They murdered him because that's what they've done. All right. When they conquered those lands of those autochthonous people, they raped the women and some of that survived, you know, but this history is well known around the world, from fake Persia to fake Iran, to fake Iraq, to fake Afghanistan, to all of which some of those places are new because, you know, Afghanistan, Pakistan, those are Hindus. You know, when you look at Somali, Eritrean, and Ethiopia, they're all the same Ethiopia. You know, we have a lot of our African brothers and sisters who are waking up and realizing, holy smack, the American Negro actually is from there. They're starting to realize it. And it's starting in Kenya, it's starting in Mofino, what's called Bassel, with the young 27, whatever, the coup, and, you know, they are starting to realize, like, oh snap. You know, what's funny is the world is hard on us, everyone. Like, we're supposed to have enemies in all corners. And we were reading the certain books in the beginning, the Gods of Eden, that allude to the fact that from Enki or whatever you want to call it, that we were a set apart people. We had created weapons that have been mismanaged and misused. And you know how they would change that, because whitewashing is a commonality. I know it's easy when people have these conversations, and I don't want to lean on the fact of ignorant little dummies, you know, dark brown or light brown, because there's no black. And even though there are people who are damn near blue, which would be more or less chlorophyll, all right, proper amounts of iron, zinc, and, you know, all the minerals, and no one's truly black. That's another misnomer. That's one of their creations. What troubles me the most is the most ignorant of existence. People run along and utilize what they state. We created all these beautiful things, built up these great cities. They tore them down, and they give you white superiority, and there's nothing superior about it. We innovated and created all the things that you enjoy, even though now they have those who we taught turning out other things, you know, vehicles that anyone could do. They have weaponized everything, even to the point where they can shut it down, because it's indicative to who they are. Your fake leaders in all places throughout Earth. Now, not every one of them partakes in it. Not everyone is bought out by the bastard APAC, and who controls all the materialistic stuff. And now some of you are starting to realize there is something dead deepening. And they say, well, then it's the incubator and the cabbage patch. Well, you got to know what year that was and why the reset was important, because when they realized what they could do with a certain group, how easily they can manipulate them and write them into a new history, and they, for the lack of, would not know better. You got to remember, there's millions of Chinese pointing out the fact of who this land belongs to, and even the fact that they're upset because the original people of that land, it's hard to find. Now, you still find some very dark melanated people in China. And Japan, they're pretty much gone. I told you I went and visited the Anu people when I was there back in the 80s. And they were still angry and pissed. A lot of our light-skinned brothers and sisters today who don't meet the mark based on double helix as I went and showed many people in the military who are light skinned with blonde hair and blue eyes and all that are my relatives. They're not even considered white. Not because they helped this or that, because those ones were the ones here that they went off to kill first, to lynch, to unalive. I say it's very important to put together the puzzle pieces because individuals want something right away to explain everything. And yet, those of us with a little tiny bit of knowledge who have been talking about these things for a long time, it's easy to be dismissive of anything that goes against what you think or believe. And many people now saying, well, how did they do it? You know, the scorpion getting on the back of the frog and asking the frog to take it across the pond or the river. And so the frog goes, "Oh, okay, but you can't sting me. Don't worry. You give me to the side, you'll be fine." And when the frog gets to the other side, the scorpion stings it. And he says, "Why did you do that?" Well, it's in his nature. What y'all don't know is all the perversions of what they did was being founded by the very own our light-skinned brothers and sisters who are not part of, and it's not indicative to them to be stuck because a lot of them haven't been abused by the very same people. We already know where it came from when you study Talmudic Hinduist ideologies. Now, some of you are starting to realize why I said it's important to know about theosophy, theology, and they cleaned it up so that you could think it's pretty good. You must remember Alice Crawley is based on the theosophy, or the theosophical. Just like Scientology. MK Ultra, the brainwashing through certain foods, chemicals, mineral depletion. They were able to do that because what y'all don't know about the court system and the police, they're fraudulent. First of all, none of these court systems are common law courts. So therefore, they don't really recognize the Constitution, regardless of it being spoken and thrown around. And there are 3 places where you can find a common law court. Barbados. What? You look it up yourself to see for yourself. Okay? Hola, what's going on? Shalom. What's happening? Shalom. It's not, because y'all know that I'm part German. Fortunately, I'm O positive. Most of my family's O negative, and some O positive. I don't have the RH rhesus monkey gene and all that, whatever you want to call it. I'm not B as far as that goes. That is a bloodline that is really, yet there's no hate. It's the mind state. It is, everyone has a source. Not everyone is an empty vessel. But how you're, what you're saying and how you're relating to yourself what's going on should allude to the fact that when you pervert the status or the nature of the individuals, change how they see things and pit one against another, you know, stir the little jar with ants. The leaders, they are ignorantly loyal to. Just like when I was in the military. The funny thing in the UCMJ, it tells you you don't follow unlawful. You know, you don't do that. You stand up and no. Yet they have a system that is deeply depraved, is full, deeply a depravity, where they'll persecute you. And what can you say? I know y'all watch videos with police going in, shooting up a house or arresting someone, and those individuals are not the subject, nor have they done anything. I grew up, we all grew up, shit. Let's spit this out. We all grew up watching Guard 21 and all this stuff, and Ironside and all this great detective work. You don't see that no more. You see hotheads who are ignorant, who want to shoot As you know, there's a couple of videos I'm uploading that's going to show you this. You have special force operators who went over there to fight the Hamas. And when they got there and they realized it's not the Hamas they're fighting, they were fighting innocent people who are hungry, children, and they're watching the IDF and they're coming back and saying the IDF are unprofessional. They're like animals. They're killing. And I continue to say that it's their sacrifices. I don't even like saying IDF because they are not Israel. First of all, my light-skinned brothers and sisters, your history is all a lie. You have been dredged through. You have been assimilated into ideologies and other people's identities and made comfortable to do so based on a false fictional white narrative. One of the things we saw going over the last couple of years is this culture stuff. And I had to hit the Native Americans pretty hard. I had to point out the so-called Russia's, America's land purchase of Alaska, 55 miles away is Russia. You can literally see it. I pointed out that we have a lot of individuals because Trump's in office and you have certain individuals within government informing these stupid individuals, or whether you want to call them racist, they're in front, whatever, that they can do what they're doing as if there won't be no ramifications. That is showing not a positive, influential, powerful people. That is showing a weak group of people who have disdain. They haven't accomplished anything because if they did, they wouldn't have to move so. And then we have those individuals who keep running around pushing that blackety, blackety, black. I'm grateful that people are realizing that there's no such thing. That is based upon ignorance. The fact of rewriting history, stealing it, giving it to somebody else, making them the front barriers, while the actual indigenous people, because we're indigenous everywhere, are supposed to just be subjugated. We gave you enough. No, we gave y'all everything and you took and you attempt to own everything. First of all, the grass you can't patent, people you can't patent, the trees you can't patent, the air, the sky, but they poison it all. These little black gang leaders and all these individuals who are misrepresenting, who are pushing their own detriment, we can easily remove them all. We can. The police can never do it. That's a training ground to further weaponize and militarize a group of individuals based on false narratives that they created, because they can subjugate one before all SHIT. You know what I'm saying? The fan. SHT, shit. I don't want to say it. SHTF, whatever you want to call it. But it always starts here, and then some years later, it starts to catch on because people realize that there is actual history, there's actual history and information that points to these truths. I watch videos of individuals bushcrafting in our most beautiful places where we once, it was a place for us to restore ourselves. It doesn't work on them. I look at Miami, when you think of Seminole, I look at all these frauds running around on the land who are attempting to oust melanated chiefs and, people in high positions who have worked 20-something, 30 years to get in those positions. Now you have these so-called Spanish individuals talking about, get together and they want to put one of theirs in, but you see the most racism coming from them. And I would say, how do you respect them? No, you respect the ones who respect themselves and respect you. Those idiots, they don't deserve no respect. They need to remove, as far as I'm concerned, remove. See, they think that they can do all this and talk in secret. Well, I say, bump all that cowardice, and then they can have their little idiot come up there, and stand on the stage, with his funny little black costume, with his made up identity, looking at everybody, you earn nothing and you'll be happy. And our people are still running around like idiots in Texas and California, New York, Philly, and everywhere else. Florida, just dumb. Women cannot raise children on their own. I don't care about the one or two that's been semi-successful. If that's supposed to be the answer for 100%, that shows you how destroyed our people are. Once and written, because it's not the Native Americans, a righteous people. And when you have them where they can't gather, you can't this, that, and the other with these idiots in costume, what do you think comes from that? More complexities and confusion. I had gas on my damn thing. What is that? It's got, yeah, it's gas. And I sit there and say to myself, hey, beautiful. I sit there and say to myself, you have people around the world using our information and material to point out something that we've been saying for the longest time. Why does the world ignore the autochthonous, the original people of this land, because of your fake ass Native Americans who now have been mixed with all consortiums of individuals? They don't, their real history is not here. And then when you tell them, because they try to put themselves in the same bracket with us as far as, you know, the 1800s, I had to tell them, no, you can't. They say they couldn't eat in restaurants like us. I was like, bull crap, y'all could too, but you didn't want to. They were still teaching y'all how to play us, but in a perverse way with your own ways. And you know how it is when you can't win it, and that's the dumbest thing. Instead of learning, win an argument, you become dismissive. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks or says. And they're all wrong. And we've lost millions of our people. Millions. We were never slaves, POWs. Only because we laid our arms down. Not all of us did, but the majority did. And they've eradicated them. So you're light skinned and you might feel some kind of way if you're a Pan-African and you're too stupid to shake. Pan-Africans are Americans and they're the dumbest sons of bastards I've ever seen. If you can't accept not a new reality, but an actual fact, a truth. Well, I don't know what can be done for you. Especially the majority are not going to research. They're going to look at any information that's created by the enemy that soups up their narrative as if it's befitting. And Germany, the beautiful thing about Germany, they refuse to tell a lie about who was the original people of this land. Just like they still keep the statues of the original people of Germany and Europe. All the motifs and everything. That's still there. Now, there are a number of Germans who, wherever they came from, who know this. You know, Hitler did actually say, wait until they find out World War III will start, because wait until they find out that they actually have the original Jews, and meaning us. And they said they changed it to jewels. Maybe that's what it alludes to. But they're spraying again, these bastards. Well, anyway, I'm not going to focus on them. I'm going to start cursing them. Anyway, it's very bothering for me. Why? Because I seek balance. And there's not going to really be balance into people study this and start purchasing the books. And you don't belittle yourself and weaken yourself because you had this false narrative of being up here. But these worthless Negroes, these dead things should not be permitted or allowed to have share information, because a lot of y'all run to that because it feels good. I always say, well, I know some people be offended, but what did you invent? What have you given humanity? By which y'all think humanity means, which you're not human. The hue of man, they conscripted that. We didn't create that. And here it is, y'all realize now that everything has been lied about, even up to the point today, fictional Lone Ranger and Tonto. The fact that Jim Kelly, Sammy Davis, hell, hundreds of actors between, I guess, the 50s and 70s, or 40s to 70s, we always played the Indian. Then you have this Italian, Sicilian, whatever, Iron Eyes Cody come along. And he looks exactly damn near like a Native American. And people have a hard time buying into the fact that they're one and the same. I said, y'all need to look at the Ukrainian, Russian military, and you think those individuals are Chinese? No, those are the people that fought the original people of Prussia, the original people of China. And those are who you're seeing. Kate was real. I'm telling you that and I asked y'all to look into it. Now, I don't think it's happening now because they want to keep everybody from having babies and they want to destroy and everything else, even though for some reason people are still having them, which is beautiful. I say have as many as you can, trust me. These individuals are very sick. Very sick. I have a video of this sister who's doing everything right. And I watched these little worthless child CPS with these worthless police officers going and taking the children from this mother who's doing the right thing, hasn't done nothing wrong, regardless of her past. And this is what we're supposed to contend with? You mean to tell me these so-called black leaders and all these other dead things are, oh man, I don't want to beat you up too bad. I'm not attempting to beat you up. I'm pointing out something, and I could really start going off the deep end, and that's not what I want to do. You have to pull back because I have this information because, yes, I'm all about the embracing of all walks of life. Yet sometimes you have to stand up and you have to omit. Another thing I pointed out, I can't stand racists nowhere, but I'm going to be honest with you. Our people cannot be racist. They're only acting against that which is pushing against them. That our people cannot. You cannot expect a group of people, melanated, to be oppressed, families being murdered, lynched, hanged from trees, set on fire, cut up, divvied up, land stolen, this, that, and the other, false ownerships, land, this, taxes, and everything. When I was saying taxation without representation, all the nonsense they push, and then you find out about Zionism, and you realize they start speaking it loud, and you look at all the faces, and you realize, wait, we're under occupation ourselves. Is the military based on the consortium in there? A lot of ignorant bastards, but you see them bringing a lot of foreigners and allowing them to join the military, just like the police force. And y'all think that ignoring this because you got a bunch of dumb Kens and Karens who are outright, I mean, they are going ballistic. You look at that goofy Mexican ex-cop sitting there talking to these people who deliver stuff. And because they got there late, he's calling them all kind of N-words, this, that, and the other. The white people, and he's considering himself white. That's confusion, right? And it happens on all fronts, right? But they become so brandishing. And him being an ex-cop should point to the fact that there's a subculture of stupidity within the police department. First of all, by Supreme Court, they don't have to serve protect. Actually, they shouldn't even exist. They fleece in America. And these fake Zionists, these monkeys like that. But what's more problematic that the individuals who put on the badge and costume, some of them have to deal with some messed up stuff. I can dig it. We didn't get there on our own. but then they're hurting more innocent people. Izzo pointed it out. He's a retired police officer who I follow on Instagram and here, a cop talk and everything. And he is starting to see things on the opposite side and go, what the frick? Should nobody be asked for their ID? I don't care if the fake states with the fake governing body believes everybody is stupid, that they can sit these individuals in costume who act just like Kevin Kisher said, mutts, dogs, worthless, to do the dumb things they're doing. And most people today, melanated people, don't care about the costume, nor the gun or the badge no more. They've earned that hate. When they're talking about police safety, first of all, you're out there to do a job. You want to play the hero, but you don't want to sacrifice yourself to save lives, but you'll take the life of somebody innocent. That's for the faggots who come over and watch, who wear the costume. A lot of people don't want to hear that. I know it. I know it's hard to accept it. And I look, I was looking at a friend of mine, something with the Seminole Nation, and they were sharing the pictures and a video with me. And I was looking at these unrhythmic, this utter disdain of these frauds, this fake government who knows the Freeman and those expelled from that fake Native Americans. It should have always been that way. But our brothers and sisters don't have those of us who can lead them or put them in a certain position to better themselves. 1940, we own over 42 million acres. We grew all your food of your ancestors to eat. And then y'all come in and you farm and put GMO for greed and messed up chickens and everything else with all kind of poisons and granular feeds. And that's supposed to be powerful? That's supposed to be awesome? And now every time you see people eating steaks and potatoes, you sit there saying, why you got Palumbo belly? That's a steroid where they get the extended belly and the muscles look all built. And everybody's out of shape and obese and still wanting to go to these fast food restaurants instead of food with love, as our people used to make. Because from the west to the east, we used to be in trucks handing out onions, yams, well, sweet potatoes, because sweet potatoes before yam. Sweet potatoes, well, actually, it's the yam. Let me get it right, because we got idiots and I was arguing with them. No, it's the yam that's original, like the yucca and all that, not the damn sweet potato. That's hybrid between the potato and the yam. And watermelon, seeded, sweet, melons and cantaloupe, real vine tomatoes, okra. I remember we used to go and they would be all the trucks everywhere, all the way up and down the East Coast and all the way coming over us. Not for greed, not for wealth, still picking the cotton, making red clay bricks, knowing how to with hand brick and make cobblestones for roads, showing them how to repair them. As I said, there was a big documentary on that they had us going, showing how to repair the roads in New York and New Jersey and Brick City. And yet you have these dumb racists who have been grafted in, made stupid, and they want to dismiss this truth. Literally, usury, subversion. And then what's the other word they have? Imitation. To imitate, to learn, and then to establish their own and kill off the indigenous population. You see it right now. You see it between lighter and darker Asian communities happening, unfolding out of nowhere. And this is this king of the hill nonsense. And our people better wake up and stop listening to goofies. Like, I like what Charleston White does. He's gotten carried away. He's made a couple of million. And he's still pushing African American. This retard who don't look nothing like a damn African, who can't get it right. Now, anytime you are speaking outside of your truth, I'm going to call you a goofy. I don't care what you think is great, what you're doing or whatever. how many people you talk about because you study everything and listen to Lion Media and everything else. And I know it's all shock value, but when you don't know real history and you're intelligent, that's a bothersome thing. Umar is what we call the crust on the heel of your foot. What's his real name? Jermaine something? That's one of them daggone Umar Johnsons that like to eat the flies. Anyway, he ain't no doctor. He spits the vehement racist hate ideology. I shared with y'all about Marcus Garvey, which I couldn't even find nowhere. When I was talking about Marcus Garvey and him being about 40 years old, dying in Europe in an empty hotel, then Hal Celeste being murdered in his 80s because they worked with the OSS and League of Nations to come here and subvert our people. One coming from Haiti and the other one from what you would call Ethiopia. Because they were conquered by it and divvied up by the same people, religions created out of nowhere. Same thing with Etrian and all the, because they're all one and the same, brothers and sisters. Even though some of them know, they've come here and they knew that we all used to work together. Our African brothers, our brothers over there in the Arab countries who are whitewashed damn near now, they're still melanated people original of the land, Egypt and all that, what they call Egypt. Europe, some and Russia and France, all melanated people, they still exist there. I met a few in Germany. We built these great cities. We worked together. There was no separation. And when the people were being pushed into what they call now Africa, and the other ones who were there who used to guard, some of y'all that went to the Caucasus before they went back and then became sand devils because they were cannibals and bloodletters, and the Moors had to take them in. They became Moors. Moore is only a seafarer. It ain't nothing. And yet we have these idiots pushing narratives, creating new books and putting them in front of everybody like there's some great thing. Very disrespectful they are. But it's steeped on being ill-informed, information mismanaged, and no one individual could be believed who would go against what they believe. Lack of knowledge and only. Man, I need me some neckanese. I need me some K2. I need that stuff bad, man. I'm gonna have to sit up. I don't know if I got enough to order it. I need it. I'm not gonna be drinking no more, guys. Now, I remember I said it quick before, but I had to do something. I had to see something. I had to push something, not without long explanations. And I know what I need to know now. Everything comes with a price. I ain't talking about monetary. Price, money is nothing with that. So that's what I allude to. Yet, here we are on an earth that was so beautiful. It was beyond what you can even comprehend. Because all of us out here, we weren't even here. We were fighting and being redirected on our land with these people with their false ownership. They don't own nothing. Why do you think Trump said that wanting to rename the called the Gulf of America? What do you think that's part of? That's part of the New World Order crap. Y'all didn't even get it. Destroying the education system, all that. And then you got all these dumb Negroes, these liberals. They're stupid. They are the dumbest individuals walking the earth, sadly, and they're not supposed to be. But they've been misled. I call these black leaders foreigners. They are ill and sick with a gene in them. In order to do something like that, you have to be. Look at the music industry and all the stuff, the Baal, the satanic, and everything else that these individuals are deeply, darkly dumb as well. Not just your dumb Lady Gagas and all those that sung those songs and, Mick Jagger, you know what I'm saying? The Devils, which I enjoy. Symphony. But we're dealing with a serious dilemma. And you see how they're cultivating and guiding it. All because of misleading, being misled. And all people sit there on it, on the pile, on the tier of fire as if it's an okay thing. And you have these TD Jakes and these Roland Martins and all these other idiots thinking that there's a benefit because they're arguing, because they're so deep in the sunken place, but that their world is materialistic and look at my bank account. I got 1 million followers. Look at me. You got 1 million dummies. Another 1 million over there and another 1 million over there. And someone say, but you ain't even watching some of these guys building cars and fabricate. What does that got to do with anything? Our people have been out of the loop because some of the best automobile builders in Chicago and Detroit that ever existed. That history's lost to time because you know who is controlling the narrative, because y'all refuse to walk and work together because of these dumb ass racists. I don't even like saying it, but they are the stupidest people I've ever seen. They haven't created nothing. They haven't made nothing. They really don't know why they hate. Now you have these idiots running around with all these different little weapons and energy and this, that, because our people decide to sleep and worry about some dumbass Beyonce and some worthless Jay-Z and these punk actors and actresses. And look at how many of y'all knew that Spears was a faggot, a homosexual. I don't know what word to use. Anyway, y'all get what I'm saying. I'm gonna say faggot. That's the term I've always used. And the majority of them are. And every time I look at that video when Pop Smoke got, well, not Pop Smoke, not him, but the dude that was with Boosie, who was making the jury, who came all the way down from Chicago to take, he was down there and they was gambling. They set him up. And you look at the worthless Negroes' faces standing around. They look like they haven't lived since their great grandpappy died and mammy. They look like dead things walking. We're the only ones going to clean that up. No one else can. Not the fake ass police, not the fake judiciary system. Those are frauds. They operate under fraud. And the school system, your worthless ass teachers made sure you were dumb just like they were made dumb. Yeah. Oh, fairy. I guess you call them that. Okay. Well, I'll use that term. Nothing to antagonize or be. I'm not for or against them. I'm just saying, How can you allow yourselves to live a lie over and over and over? When you talk about culture, everybody is practicing our culture while we're supposed to sit there and get smacked around with some words. What language do you speak? What's your culture? When you go to the damn Bible, the one thing that's good about the Torah and the Bible, they can't lie about a language being lost while these people speaking Yiddish. That is not, and they want to convince you that that's from Shem, and that no, they are not Jews, and there's millions of more people coming out and realizing that they are not us. They are depravity. When they say Jesus, we went in there and they had the money lenders, those would be more like the Romans, not the Jews. How about the fact that the 10 tribes haven't gotten together, and where's the other 2? Well, you got individuals trying to play fake and pump fake, being us, while they're out there doing things that we aren't required to do. This is how deep it is. Like I said, you know, the one Green Beret was talking about, he was out there and he says it's IDF and American soldiers shooting and killing Palestinians. So that means some of these police officers who are dual citizens ran over there to put the IDF and people in your so-called your government, your local government, put on their costumes to go over there and murder them. And yet y'all still talking about Trump, Biden. Y'all still, you still giving the enemies in costume a pass to do absurdities? There are good cops who are retired and who are pretty good in the streets. And they're looking at this stuff and they're going, what in the heck is going on? And the women, y'all are over emotional. Y'all escalate instead of de-escalating all the time. It's pretty bad, isn't it, guys? I'm not beating up on my light-skinned brothers and sisters because a lot of y'all have come around. You're going to have to help teach some of our people how to walk right again. That's the burden that you should pick up with happy hands, but you got to make sure you got the right ones because the bad ones will run your pocket and put you in a hole. I just had to come on and share that little information. I want to go ahead and get something to eat, and then I want to get to working on this. I'm going to charge this up. It's charged pretty quick. It's a little cool. You know, they all mean everything to me, every last one of you. We're eternally bonded. It doesn't matter about the past to me, all that. We have to move forward. We're not looking at tomorrow. We're looking at today, being in the moment. And this is when we make the corrections. And this is where we stop the fusillade of foolishness. Oh, yeah, of course, all of them are fraud. My godmother, Shirley Strickland, my aunt, she was the head in Ohio. Y'all can look her up if you know what I'm talking about. I come from a very prominent family. And I know she did a lot of foul shit. She was married to a damn Jew, too. I studied law. It doesn't mean anything unless you go to a common law church. They took them off here. They took them off the land and put them around us so they can stay and keep doing perverted things. Y'all, did y'all know that? Research it. See for yourself. Y'all all have been hemmed up and lied by a system. They want, right now, I had to correct one of the brothers who retired. That says, that's operating and driving. That means cab, that's driving. Big trucks, that's operating. The vehicle for travel, unless you're working for a company with a company vehicle, that is traveling. There's no license required. There's no insurance needed or nothing. And I had to tell the damn state trooper about the highway patrol. I says, damn it, you're supposed to make sure that people traveling, the citizens, are safe. He said, yeah. I said, oh, you got a big head. I ain't that one. You know, I'll put you in the ring and whoop your ass. I ain't talking about that, Rick, because you know they got this false sense of perception. And the perception that they're, you know, because they sit up there and everybody's going to look a certain way. That's conditioning, just like in the military. I said, man, put all that hoopla alone. Just listen to what I'm saying. And so he got to look at it, and he's looking at all the verse, this, that, and he goes, oh, damn. Yeah, y'all been out there fleecing America with your worthless ass, fake rich judges and all the lying bastards. When they fill that farm out to go and keep people's doors out and early in the morning, it's illegal. Unless they really know there's a bad guy in there to which nobody's doing real detective work like they used to, which I appreciate it, even though they had dumb racists out there stealing drugs and popping hookers, and they still doing it. Some of these female police officers have been ran through by the people on the force. You see that police, you know, one of the biggest things that kills women is domestic violence, and that was the police department. People too. And that's why they're marrying each other instead of marrying a whole. I know there's civilians who have been married, you know, into the department, but the majority are marrying each other. Very nasty, because you should know when you're on TRT and certain steroids and insulin, you're gonna have a sexual drive. And you see it with a lot of them. They all pumped up and everything else. They went and fought in the 20-year war. They're not natural. They're not natty. Well, natty they are, but they're not natural. No, natural is natty. Okay, it's been a long time. I've been out the gym for a long time. I'm not here to shame and talk bad about them. I'm only pointing out things that, why is it that most people don't look at these little things? You know what I'm saying? Serious. And I think it's a little easier for me to say because I'm half German, I'm half Spanish, I'm half Chinese. You get what I'm saying? I say half. I'm just saying, you know, from half of the family, you know, married or whatever. So some people have a little more respect for that. How people got to do better. We really do. Because this is some ugly, depraved, monstrous mentalities. This is some empty vessels. This is the idiots who thinking they're safe because you got little weak young niggas who allow feds in their house. You know, this dumb thing. And they think that they're getting away with these things. They think that, oh, it's okay. I can do this. It's going to work out. That's not how it works in the real world. See, the world we're in is construct, a lie that fits their narrative. They think they got people trained up to be around you. And when you know better, and know different, all that stuff is meaningless. I'm not saying it's always the case. I'm just pointing it out because let me see if this is real right quick. Let me see if I just want to make sure. If you don't mind. Is it? Yeah, it's all. Just want to make sure it's all. Let's see if I can. Oh, come on. Let me see. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can play this right quick. So this is 3 weeks ago, and then we're gonna listen to 4 days ago. I just want to. I want to see. This is Paperboy Newsstand.
Here to deliver your daily.
You gotta remember now, I'm not saying this is facts. This is, you know, we got dumb melanated people who sensationalize worthless crap. But I want to point something out about Whack 100, right?
Now, everybody on the internet's always been accusing Whack 100 of being an informant, but nobody had any actual physical evidence to prove that. And if you guys can remember a while back, it was Whack 100 that brought Snoopy Badass to No Jumper for an interview. And Whack basically told Snoopy, you should drop your flag because real gangsters don't snitch. Now, the crazy thing about all of that is Snoopy actually listened to Whack 100 and he dropped his flag and then he started his own gang, which was Angel Lanes. Now, the same thing happened between Whack 100 and Christopher Lovejoy. And Whack told 600 a while back that he got some...
Again, this is Paperboy Newsstand. If y'all want to listen to that crap, you know, stuff like this, go right ahead.
Work, and the only way he's going to continue their friendship is if he unseals it and shows them that he ain't no rat. Well, Whack today showed Lucky Day And you got some explaining to do, so let's get straight into it. Now, shout outs to Christopher Lovejoy for keeping it 100 and not being biased, even though Whack 100 is his homie. And I knew it had to be something serious for him to put on the caption, "Big bro, talk to me, what's that?" Now, Whack 100 and Stoopy BA was having a conversation, and I guess Whack 100 was inside a store getting ready to pay something, but when he pulled out his wallet, something looked like a badge.
What made you think it was Rocco that told him that, though?
Damn it, why you gonna pop up on me?
Now, I already know Whack 100 already seen this clip, so he's already preparing himself to make excuses. And the reason why 600 posted this on his Instagram is because he already made it perfectly clear ahead of time, long time ago, that if you were ever gang affiliated or been part of the streets, he ain't effing with you if you effing with the police or you got any paperwork on you. Now,
all right, so I'm not gonna play the whole thing. If you want to listen to Paperboy Newsstand, go ahead. I'm subscribed to him. But I want to play this one. DJ Vlad 4 days ago. I hate DJ. I can't stand that fraud.
The big story with you.
He's my son.
Whack 100, aka
probably
Officer Cash McElroy Jones.
Yeah.
Who accidentally flashed his badge while on live.
What made you think it was Rocco that told him that, though?
Because nigga, his statement in the motherfucking his statement there, nigga. Why would you?
Oh, accident. Vlad, you're a man with a wallet, right?
Yes.
Okay. You kind of understand the wear of a wallet, right?
Yep.
Okay. There you go. Look at the wear of that wallet.
There is an actual imprint. Are we gonna?
Oh, right here, you gonna toss it back, Vlad? Listen.
So show to the camera.
So this is the wear of the wallet. Listen, right. Now what I did was this. Right? I did this. Now if I remove the bottom finger, it clearly says brother. Right?
brother. Yep.
It is called a friends and family badge. It doesn't have a badge number. I've been having this thing like 6-7 years. Brother, do you know?
I wanted to show that because if anyone's paying attention to this dumb stuff, as if I want to show you what entertainment is, right? If it's supposed to mean something, first of all, screw Whack 100, screw Bad TV, screw all those idiots who are still stuck on the 22 jumper Goofy, and that's not his name, and all the other dumb things that bring our people into a low existence, pitting them against one another. How can y'all feed and give them millions of views and everything else when they're not telling you the truth of history or anything? They up there embarrassing people who you've enjoyed watching in TV shows and everything else with these little worthless, dumbass gang members who want to get locked up and this, that, and other. I think, isn't Crip Mac out or something like that? But anyway, you know what I'm saying. Why are our people, and this is what's important, and it affects more light-skinned folk than it do us. Y'all just haven't really paid attention. There's a lot of light-skinned, there's a lot of Chinese, there's a lot of Hindu, a lot of people on this land caught up. You go to Africa, people walking around with their pants sagging. That we I remember back in the 70s, 80s, we were showing a lot of our brothers from the islands in Africa how to color coordinate because they didn't have it. And now you see it, everybody's all this, that, everything is flamboyant. They're doing everything we did, popping bottles and everything based on what the Zionists use worthless Negroes to push. And yet people are still feeding into this instead of the things that are going to better them, make them come together in a different way than the fraudulent way they exist right now. Because I don't want to see a whole lot of your faces. I really don't. That's not now, I don't give a damn what agency, what the fuck they think they can do or whatever. Now I got to get a little straight up. I don't give a fuck how they feel. I can't wait to see their dumb fucking faces and those other things. But when I say faces, I see all kind of things walking by me. They're not going to be able to fight what they think they want to fight. God, they're fighting for your gods. They're fighting you now, and you're felling them, and they're about to destroy all of you by putting you to sleep. You think they want to blow all this up? That's not part of the agenda. Y'all have no idea. Y'all really, really don't. If they were smart, they would do different, but they're not. And I guess y'all haven't really figured out what I'm saying when I mean that, or what I mean when I say that. I think it's still hard for y'all to conceptualize or believe because you're still caught up in this conundrum of existence. Y'all still permeating with this coming out your pores. This, and there's still people pushing black and white and pushing this and that without knowing what some of the so-called ancestors did and how many times they've come back. They always come back. Not this time. They'll see it. They have a way of saying it. I think. They're using your old world information technology to keep you hidden from it. They got you dumb. It had to be systemic, systematic, and slow. Tell me otherwise. Please. Hey, Warren, what's happening? Tom and Pona, I think I got you, right? Oh, Mac. The first time I heard you talk about recent Indian farmers, I could have visualized it. Sharon, what's up, Mom? It's good to have the sisters. A Big Red, what's up, T? What's going on? I just want to shout you guys up. Y'all actually was going. I thought I might have to go out and do it again or something. Shalom, yeah, I saw that earlier. The more I study my surname, the more it points only to Western Southwest Island, but yet I have feeling it points strongly what they call North America. Absolutely, because all that's made up. I mean, it exists. It exists. There's a reality to Ireland, Scotland, and all that, but it's made up. It's kind of a throw off. It keeps everything separated, and that's what they wanted to do because these individuals. I think you already got an idea, all right? Without me going over it again and again, you know what I'm saying? But damn, I gotta ask you something. I can't get it all out. But I just thought that maybe, and there's more. But if you want, y'all can go and listen to all that. I don't want to. I mean, Big U, he's in PC, done PC'd up and dropped his flag. A lot of them are just punks, man. Seriously, they are. It don't matter who they this, that, and that done this to and that. That there's a penance for the action. You dig what I'm saying? And they think in their ignorant steed that they're ready to deal their penance, and not the fake system that has perversely done things to individuals because of their ignorance and the fact that people didn't want to be honest and tell the truth. I mean, I had to put it in because somebody else did. Damn it, y'all sleeping on me, man. But I just wanted to, discuss those things because it may bother some people, and if you're bothered by what may possibly be a truth, then you embrace the lie. I can't do nothing for anyone who embraces the lie. Part of your existence, and I'm not saying I don't believe in time. I'm throwing years around because to me it's meaningless, but to y'all and what they've conscripted might be meaningful. I don't know. To me, it is meaningless. And they have conditioned and groomed so many people to be so dang dumb, man. I can't make it up. Anyway, I saw I wanted to share. All right. See, I didn't go all off the deep end and all that dumb cursing and all that, which y'all, bothers most people. It's unnecessary. I really wanted to. I mean, there's so much information. I got stuff I could have read. I like for y'all to research stuff. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Charles Johnson, what's cracking? What's happening? What's happening? Yeah, we do our best, right? But I think it's important enough that when y'all start researching, you may find out a whole lot more. I know there's going to be a lot of numbers thrown around, this, that, and other. Don't get caught up in that. We're all here, and we all exist together. And I guess our people are always looking for a way to better everything. I had to go on this one African channel, and I had to light them up. I said, you know, if it wasn't for the work we did here, you couldn't have came here, and you wouldn't be in a better position. Nelson Mandela was following our people as well. I was like, I don't want to hear no more. And all they were actors. They had to make sure certain people got dead, this, that, and other. And then they were able to take them and lock them up. All right. Let them have a good time and always shuffle them into the back. He's in there. He's locked away. And then go send him to the island where all the Boule and everybody else around the world have a good time. While everybody out here is going, freeze, you know, freeze so-and-so, free, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully y'all stop buying into their world of falsehoods and lies. If you think Nelson Mandela was locked up all that time and came out the way he did, just like I don't think Martin Luther King was killed. Just like I don't think Epstein's dead. I mean, Trump's sitting there talking about giving her, it's possible to give her a pardon, but then there's more and more information because there's individuals looking at everything going on. They're going, wait a minute, or is it something bigger than that? Look, they've had a long time to do what they're doing. You've had a long time to walk in the light of their lies. How's that working out? And how quick do you think you can jump and make it right? Y'all don't even know how to come together, but I'm grateful for y'all being here. I had to go off on that. I says, man, I had to go off on their post, man. I said, without us, I said what needed to be said. Not no bragger or ego. I said what needed to be said. I was on a different platform, not on YouTube. They have a YouTube channel, but I didn't want to say it right here. You get what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm gonna get ready to sign off. I gotta get something in my stomach. I got gas I can't get out. And it's drinking that tea. I'm gonna drink some carbonated water. Hopefully I get it out. So I'm gonna go and charge this up because and I want to come out and it's cool. It's sunny, but it's cool. And I want to finish closing in the walls, you know, and getting everything in the right place, getting the bedding up. You know, I think y'all enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? I hope y'all enjoy it, you know. But other than that, who's that? Who's that? It's all the beans. You got sand, Django. You got sand. But anyway, I appreciate you guys. All right, and let's see who's still up in here. We got 8 watching. Anyway, I appreciate you guys, man. Excelsior. That's awesome, man. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. They're throttling. See, I told you they do weak cowardly stuff. If they weren't weak and they weren't cowardly, they'd be like, man, just let him. But they're weak. And I'm not saying that to make them. I'm saying it because it's facts. They're cowards. They're weak. And y'all should know that too. All right. Eat some green chili. Help. Yeah, I don't want no spice, bro. It pushes the potassium and everything out, and the magnesium. I don't have enough, and I be cramping at night like crazy. Anyway, I appreciate y'all. And I'll see y'all here shortly. Boom, 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 boom. See y'all here shortly. All right. Shit.